Aloha. Welcome to TMDR, the Maui Daily Report for Thursday, April 17th, 2025. I'm Chivo Cheng Johnson, and these are some of the stories that may interest you today. 3 to 5 separate fires broke out in Kihei yesterday on Pi'ilani Highway, from Welakahaua Street to near the police station, shutting down the road. The blaze spread rapidly and smoke was heavy. All fires were contained by 2:40 p.m., but Maui Police Department kept the southbound lane closed for an additional time as a precaution. No word yet on what started the fires. The fire in the hole keeps going. The one in Halema'uma'u crater on Kilauea volcano, on the Big Island, that is. After a brief pause, the 18th eruption episode since Christmas started up again last night with a glowing lava pond. Nearly 36 people showed up in court yesterday, most of whom were seeking justice for Eddie the pig. 19-year-old Jayden Jarnesky-Magana, who pleaded no contest to kidnapping and killing the pet pig, all to win a contest. Jarnesky was sentenced to 4 years probation and only 1 night in the pen. A trial for co-defendant Cries Ryan Saito Carino is scheduled to begin April 28th. The Hawaii Department of Transportation announced that storm-related repairs on Kekaulike Avenue in Kula have been completed a month ahead of schedule. The section of Kekaulike Avenue between Waiakoa Road and Alai Road was reopened today. The days get longer while the season turns, and lifeguards have transitioned to work 10-hour shifts, allowing them to stay on duty much later. Lifeguards will be on duty from 8 a.m. until 6:45 p.m., and then, beginning September 16th, they will be on duty from 7:30 a.m. to 6:15 p.m. through spring. Their hours can be further extended when high surf events, dangerous ocean conditions, or other special situations warrant the additional coverage. After being made aware of misinformation circulated by commercial boating interests, the DLNR Division of Boating and Ocean Recreation is clarifying the status of commercial use permits. No new permits will be issued, and existing permits in good standing will continue to be renewed. If you heard a helicopter flying back and forth over West Maui this morning, it was Hawaiian Electric overhead, making assessments of the company's electrical infrastructure, including electrical lines, poles, and substations. Join your neighbors and police officers for coffee and conversation as part of Coffee with a Cop, Tuesday, April 29th at the Starbucks in Lahaina on Keawe Street between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. The mission of Coffee with a Cop is to break down the barriers between police officers and citizens by allowing opportunities to ask questions, voice concerns, and to get to know the community officers in your neighborhood. MPD went out to Hana School yesterday for their future fair to engage with students from the 6th to the 12th grade. The cops visited classrooms and hosted a career table open to the entire school. The event focused on helping students explore various career paths, including a career in law enforcement. As part of its commitment to the revitalization of Lahaina following the August 2023 wildfires, the University of Hawaii Maui College will once again provide tuition support for eligible graduates entering college this coming fall semester. Eligibility criteria can be found online. If you think you qualify, contact UHMC's Lahaina Luna Maui Student Coordinator, Chelsea Cow, at this web address. The Hawaii Agricultural Foundation has announced winners and finalists of the 2025 Localicious Art and Recipe Contest, with 2 classmates from Maui Wai'ena Intermediate taking first and second place in the 5th through the 8th grade art category. This year's contest theme, Reimagine Your School Lunch Plate, encourage students across the state to explore local agriculture and healthy eating through art and original recipes. The University of Hawaii at Manoa's Center for Oral History has released a new collection documenting the lives of Native Hawaiian Lahainaluna High School alumni who were boarding students between the 1950s and the 1990s. The project highlights the stories of 19 former boarders, capturing their experiences in a series of interviews now available online. Visit this address to see them. Hawaii is home to 40% of the nation's endangered species, and if a proposed Trump rule to gut the Endangered Species Act by removing habitat protection goes through, many of the rarest of rare creatures across the entire country will die off and become extinct, never to be seen again. According to the Center for Biological Diversity, it will cut the heart out of the Endangered Species Act. We have a segment for you to watch.
Aloha, my name is Butch Haas. I'm the Executive Director for the Molokai Land Trust. We're a nonprofit conservation organization that was founded in 2006. Since then, we've been working on restoration of the 2,000 acres that we own and manage here on Molokai. The greatest threats that are posed to Hawaii by invasive species are multi-pronged and affect us on many different levels, from an economic standpoint to a quality of life standpoint to the basic ecosystem services that we all rely on for survival. I can't express enough how important it is that we stay on top of the invasive species threat here in Hawaii to preserve the unique genetic heritage that makes this spot so incredibly amazing as a genetic hotspot here in the world. Hawaii has been for a long time the endangered species capital of the world due to invasive species. So when we look at preservation of those species, we need to look at heading off new invasive species that are coming into our state on a regular basis. And I'd like to just highlight the invasive species committees and the Hawaii Invasive Species Council for organizing the island-wide invasive species committees. And it's so important that we have this support so that we have a first line of defense to respond to initial and immediate threats when they arrive on our island. State and local politicians have a critical role in our battle against invasive species. First and foremost, you are the voice of the public when it comes to this topic, and it is so critical that you understand the dire nature and the threat posed by invasive species so that you can respond in a really appropriate fashion and get the public's attention and trust in responding to these types of threats. One of the very first things that you're going to come across is the environmental and ecological threat posed to our native species, but the public is going to demand more of a response when it comes to the economic threat to our agricultural systems. So the battle against invasive species is a long battle. We have to look at it as the long game, which requires having adequate funding in place to support the first line of defense through our invasive species committees, a strong biosecurity measure through the Department of Agriculture, and enforcement measures at our ports of entry and our airports, where we have the constant influx of new genetics, new threats coming in on a daily basis. When we look at countries across the Pacific and around the world who have taken biosecurity measures seriously, and we've traveled to those countries, we understand the efforts that they are taking place on a regular basis. Everything from fumigation in the airplanes when you arrive to searches of all your luggage and really strict enforcement measures for imported items. I feel like when we travel to and from Hawaii, we are not seeing this level of biosecurity in place, although we have a biosecurity plan that was recently adopted. I feel like that our politicians really need to step up and enforce the focus on implementing biosecurity measures in a stringent way across the board. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at some dire consequences down the road. To just look at history to see how the impacts are both to our economy and to our environment. As a final thought on invasive species, I would just like to remind both our political leaders as well as members of the general public, we are all in this fight together, and it's going to take all of us working together to keep Hawaii protected from the threat of invasive species. So, maybe consider, if you, as a member of the public, volunteering with a local conservation group like the Molokai Land Trust, if you're here on Molokai, to come out and work alongside our trained staff on invasive species control and removal, and get a first-hand experience on how we can actually realistically turn the tide against invasive species and restore the incredible genetic heritage that makes Hawaii so special.
All right. Economic fallout from Trump's on-again and off-again global tariffs will slow down the Hawaii economy, according to local economists. Tourists and tourism has not rebounded from pre-pandemic levels, and the future looks bleak. Paul Brubaker of TZ Economics says, quote, "Everything changes every day." And he added, "The uncertainty is just killing us." Akaku facilities will be closed tomorrow in observance of Good Friday. County offices, resource centers, permitting centers, and county pools will also close. There will be shortened hours at the Central Maui Landfill, Maui Eco Compost, and Olowalu Recycling. Hana, Molokai, and Lanai landfills will be closed completely. Residential trash pickup and the Maui bus schedules will be unaffected. Regular business hours for the county offices and services will resume on Monday, April 21st. The Humane Society is very busy, 24/7, with all that they do, and they happen to be hiring. So if you feel that you would be a good fit, visit mauihumanesociety.org/careers. In the meanwhile, it's time to consider being a foster. Meet Max.
Aloha kako. Max is Maui Humane Society's Pet of the Week. Max is a 1-year-old pup with a big heart and an even bigger hope to find his forever ohana. Max came to Maui Humane Society in January with his sister Daisy. His previous family had to make the tough decision to surrender them due to a new landlord who didn't allow pets. Life at the shelter has been a big change for Max, but he is slowly discovering how exciting the world can be. He didn't go out much before, so everything is new to Max, but he's learning fast. Max is potty trained, super smart, and he gets along with other dogs. Max is still a little shy, but with a patient and loving ohana, we know that he'll blossom. Adopt Max and help him write the next chapter of his story. From April 1st to May 8th, every dollar you donate to Maui Humane Society will be tripled, tripling your impact for animals in need. Your generosity helps us provide life-saving care, shelter, and second chances to pets like Maka'ala. Donate today and make 3 times the difference. Donate at mauihumanesociety.org/springmatch. Walk with Team Maui Humane Society at this year's 46th Annual Visitor Industry Charity Walk. Enjoy a morning filled with fun, food, prizes, and community spirit. Your participation directly supports life-saving animal care programs. The walk is taking place on Saturday, May 10th at War Memorial Complex in Wailuku. We can't wait to see you there. Register with Team MHS at mauihumanesociety.org/events.
Boy, they have so many really nice dogs down there, and cats. Well, that's it for today's Maui Daily Report. Mahalo for joining us, and please keep watching Akaku, channels 53, 54, and 55. You can watch Akaku at akaku.org or on your phone 24/7 with our app Maui Stream. This is how we stay connected. I'm Chivo Ching Johnson. Have an enjoyable Easter weekend, everybody. Be happy, stay healthy, and keep smiling. Aloha.